We continue to follow big news out of the NBA. Thunder star SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, has won the MVP for the second straight season, according to ESPN. He's the 14th player in league history to win back-to-back MVPs, the first since the Joker did it in 2021 and 2022. Jokic was one of the two of the other finalists, I should say, for the award, alongside Spurs center Victor Wembanyama. SGA tallied the second highest scoring average in the NBA this season, posting just over 33 points per game. Shai and the Thunder will be back in action on Monday when they host the Spurs in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. I know a gentleman who's excited for that series. We've got our Coach of the Year, Avery Johnson, joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Coach, good to see you in your Sunday best. I know we want to talk about your Spurs, but I got to ask you about the MVP, the two-time MVP in SGA. Are you surprised to hear the back-to-back win there for SGA as MVP?
Haley, not at all. Not surprised. 64-win team. This guy's been extraordinary. Yes, you can make an argument for Wemby, but Luka obviously wasn't in it because of the injury situations. Cade Cunningham, Jokic, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back-to-back, he deserves it. When you look at the consecutive 20-point games over the last two seasons, this guy's been extraordinary. And yes, am I cheering for the Spurs in the Spurs series against OKC? Absolutely. But the facts are the facts. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserved this award. He's coming to company with guys like Michael Jordan that have won multiple guards that have won multiple MVPs. Jordan, Steve Nash, Steph Curry. So I'm thrilled for this young man. I coached against him when he was at Kentucky when I was coaching in college. And every game plan and strategy that I designed to slow this guy down, he blew them all apart. So congratulations to Shai. And who knows, if he can stay healthy, he may have a chance to win 3 in a row.
Man, yeah, he has been special. You kind of teased it, though. We get the MVP, the back-to-back MVP, taking on the DPOY, the runner-up for MVP, in Victor Wembanyama. We're going to talk about Game 7, but before we get there, how excited are you to see those two go head-to-head in the Western Conference Finals?
This is must-see TV. And the thing is, you got Sam Presti, who used to be with us in San Antonio as a little no-name scout. Now he's arguably the best executive, not only just in basketball, but right now in professional sports, going up against his old team. These two teams met back in 2014 in the Western Conference Finals when then Tim Duncan was still playing, and now the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama, who is going to have a lot to say in that MVP conversation over the next 5 years. But when you look at the depth of both of these teams, the coaching ability, the shooting, the creativity, the size, the versatility, these teams are basically, looking each other in the mirror. You got Chet Holmgren, and you got Wemby, and you got Shai, and then you got Steph Castle. The Thunder's bench is good with those guys, Jared McCain coming off the bench, and then you got Dylan Harper and Keldon Johnson, 6th man of the year. So again, I got invited to Game 3 in San Antonio on Friday. I think you'll see me on TV.
Out west, Thunder star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has won MVP for the second straight season. He is the 14th player in league history to win back-to-back MVPs and the first since Nikola Jokic in 2021 and 2022. SGA tallied the second highest scoring average in the NBA this season, posting just over 33 points per game. Now, here's a look at the voting results. Shai received 83 of the 100 first-place votes. Jokic finished second. He had 10 first-place votes. And Spurs superstar Victor Wembanyama had 5 first-place votes to finish in third. We're back here with CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez and Noah Buono. And, John, I'll start with you. What is your reaction to SGA joining rare company with the second straight MVP award in a season where they had so many injuries, including himself, and they're still able to run away with the West?
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, back-to-back MVPs, still the reigning finals MVP. As you mentioned, the first guy to get back-to-back MVPs since Joker and the first guard to do it since Steph. I mean, he was fantastic this season despite the injuries. And they've had injuries all over that roster, but he's so consistent when he's out there, right? First guard to average 30 points on 55% shooting ever, which is insane. Scored at least 20 points in every game. The only Will Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor have ever done that, so that's good company. And then for the nerds among us, first in clutch points, first in plus minus, first in one of my favorite advanced stats, estimated plus minus. I mean, the guy's just super consistent. And then closing games, right? I mean, who would you rather go to than SGA? And it's ridiculous. I'm sure the rest of the league feels that way, that he plays for a team as deep and as talented as the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, sometimes I was thinking about this as sort of a thought experiment. If you took him off of the Thunder, where do they finish in the West? And they're probably still a top 3 seed. But he really just supercharges that team because when they need a bucket, they can go to him. He can get to the line whenever he wants. I know that it aggravates some people. I think some people call it foul baiting. I think it's a skill getting to the line and then being automatic once you get there. So a deserving back-to-back MVP for sure, I think.
I agree with John. I think that this kind of shouldn't have been talked about as close. I know the MVP conversation is always, fascinating to people. Oh, could Jokic catch SGA? He's statistically having his best season ever. Last year, Jokic had his best statistical season ever, and he continues to one-up himself. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being on the deepest team in the league, like John mentioned, is such a big deal because he does supercharge them. I really like how he put it there. But I'm going to go the historical angle here really quick because this is the 70th year that the NBA Most Valuable Player Award has been awarded. And in those 70 years, only 37 players have won the award, and only 16 of them have won 2 or more. Okay, so when you take the 16 guys that have won 2 or more, 14 of those 16 have won back-to-back. SGA joins that list. But the list that SGA, you shrink down, joins even more of is you start with Tim Duncan, Steve Nash, Stephen Curry, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Those are the other 4 guys that have won back-to-back MVPs, but never won another MVP. So I'm curious for SGA moving forward. Will he win another one, right? Obviously, him being on such a loaded Oklahoma City Thunder team and him only being 27 years old is going to play in his favor to probably win another one. But when we see a guy like Steph Curry only win 2, never win another one, same thing with a Duncan, and then even a Giannis, these MVPs come in bunches for these star players. So, it's another type of thought process that we can do here exercise-wise in the brain of like, hey, is he going to get another one? Because once you get a couple, all of a sudden there's some voter fatigue that gets involved. Like a lot of people thought Jokic would win his 4th last year, but SGA in the minds of voters, it was like, now it's his turn. We're going to vote for SGA. And you get that voter fatigue. So sometimes it comes into play. We've seen it come into play with LeBron James, but I really like, where he sits on this list where those other 4 future Hall of Famers, some already Hall of Famers, in Duncan, Nash, Curry, and Giannis that went back-to-back but never won another one. I'm curious if he'll be able to win a 3rd.
All right, so looking ahead, Noah, he's going to earn his 4th first-team All-NBA honor later this season. So where does this put him in the all-time conversation, or does he have more to accomplish before we get there?
Yeah, I don't like jumping the gun with young guys like this. I know he's 27. He got over the mountaintop. He won the title. He won Finals MVP. He's a 2-time league MVP. You can start throwing him into the conversation of where does he belong. But I'll be completely honest with you, Chris. I haven't updated my all-time list to know exactly where I would rank him. Is he among, probably the top 50 in the NBA, in NBA history? Probably safe to put him there at this point, for sure in the top 50. But I think I'd have to get back to you on, how high up that list of 50 does he get? Is he cracking the top 30 yet? It's still so early, So I think after this season is determined, we might have a better scope. If he's a 2-time champ and a 2-time league MVP, and he leads the Thunder to be the first team to go back-to-back since the Golden State Warriors did it in 17 and 18, that'd be a pretty big deal for him climbing the all-time ranking list.
Yeah, Noah's right. I mean, it is early, right? He's 27 years old, and it's amazing that he's won back-to-back MVPs, full credit to SGA, but he still has work to do, right? I mean, let's see what happens with this Oklahoma City team. Can they even beat the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, where the Spurs have beaten them 4 out of 5 times during the regular season? If they get over that hump, if they win another championship, as Noah said, if they become the first team to go back-to-back since the Golden State Warriors, now they start to build a little dynasty, that would be really impressive, and that would certainly raise his level in that all-time conversation. But just to Noah's point from earlier, like, does he get another MVP, right? Because here comes Wemby, who's younger than him, who's on a team that's just as talented, who was the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, and if he can clear that 65 game threshold, you might as well just pencil him in for that award. for the next 5 or 10 years. And then all of a sudden, for Wemby to be in the top 3 finalists of the MVP conversation this early in his career and this young, I just think like SGA is going to have some competition moving forward with some of these young guys coming up behind him. So he's had an absolutely remarkable career already, but it was also a little bit of a late start, right? Like unlike a guy like Wemby who just hit the ground running and became a superstar right from jump, he had to go through, being in the Clippers not really truly valuing him. Then he gets traded to the Thunder, and Sam Presti rightly identified him as, oh, this guy can be the guy. But so he missed some of those years early on. So we'll see if he can make them up on the back end.
Yeah, really excited to see how his career finishes out, as he's going to be, in an MVP conversation probably for years to come. Now, as for Wemby, he finishes third with Nikola Jokic edging him for second. Wemby, though, will get a chance to settle the score against SGA in the conference finals. John, how should Wemby feel about where he finished? Because I know he campaigned, he was very proud of why he thinks he should be the MVP, but how do you think he should feel finishing third next to Jokic and SGA?
I think he should feel good about it. I mean, again, he's, for any other normal player, not named Victor Wembanyama, way ahead of the curve to finish that high up in the MVP voting, to finish as the third best player in the NBA at that young age, and then already have your team having not gone to the playoffs in forever in a Western Conference Finals. He should feel great. My suspicion is he'll try to make it like, okay, I have a little chip on my shoulder, that the voters did him dirty. But yes, he should feel very good about this. But it might be added motivation for him, right? And he's been pretty open, as you mentioned, Chris, about campaigning for these kinds of things, about just telling the media exactly what he thinks about his place in the NBA and where he should finish in these awards. So I suspect as we go forward in his career over the next, who knows, might be next year or a couple years, he's going to have an MVP on his mantle to go next to, I would suspect, quite a few Defensive Player of the Year awards. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this.
I think it's interesting because I'm all for guys campaigning to win awards. I don't think players actually do it enough. I think everybody's, takes the humble seat of like, oh, thanks to my teammates, I couldn't have done it without him. It's like, no, you deserve to win the award, just say it. And Wemby did that. But I will say, for Victor Wembanyama, pump the brakes a little bit, okay? Like Nikola Jokic was better than him in just about every single metric and category offensively that you could think of. The only thing he wasn't better than him at is defense. And honestly, I know they say defense wins championships, but I think offense is just a little bit more important, because if you can't put the ball in the basket, then your defense won't really matter, no matter how stifling it is. And I think that when you look at Nikola Jokic, and he's already a 3-time MVP, he's finished top 2 in the last 6 MVP races, I believe it is. Like, I think, Wemby has nothing to be disappointed about, given where he finished top 3 ahead of Luka, the league leading scorer. I think he's in the perfect spot in year 3. And honestly, I don't think it's going out on a whim to say he's probably going to be the odds-on favorite to win the award next year going into year 4. And assuming he meets the 65-game threshold, he'll probably win it. It probably won't take that long for him to start getting on this MVP leaderboard. But I think when you look at him versus Jokic, Jokic rightfully so should have been 1-2 behind SGA in the conversation, and Wemby comfortably in third, in my opinion.
I don't know. You got to play both sides of the ball, Noah. Got to play both offensive.
Well, hey, is Wemby that much better of an offensive player? I think Wemby's offense still lacks in some serious areas where Nikola Jokic, his defense, you might make the same argument, but they end up canceling each other out, and I deem offense more important than defense. And so I give the nod to Nikola Jokic.
How dare you? How dare you disrespect defense? John Gonzalez, Noah Buono, always appreciate the insight. Great talk, guys. So with the news of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander becoming an MVP for the second time, he joins Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant as the Thunder players to get the award for the franchise. And again, he is the first player to win consecutive MVP awards since Nikola Jokic did it 2021 to 2022.